Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Clash with Barndo. I'm going to be going through our War Win 149. It's a little bit late as I've just been flown home from work, finished a 3-week stint, so I'm back on my Gamecaster. It should be a little bit different. So what we've got here is a war versus, I can't pronounce their clan name, International Clan, 67 to 60. We've got that 87% destruction. Now, just a special mention to the cheating dogs. Good old number one did an old iMod versus JDAM and stuffed it up versus Hoff. Yeah, it's not often I flat out call people cheaters, but that dude was a wanker. Outside of that, they just couldn't get out TH10s, so they did a 3-star and everything else, and yeah, for us we had a pretty good war. We've hit the 2 stars on the 10s, and we've hit 3 stars on a couple of their Town Hall 10s, and then 3 to everything else. We did have to use a couple of people to hit down. TH8s, they had a few failures, so I'm going to show a bit of a mix this recap. I'm going to show some 10s, 9s, and some 8s with a few key points for the TH8s. So what we'll do is we'll go into our first replay, and that was versus number 9. And it was a go wee wee from Barndo 80, my main. So he just had the 2 single infernos, Queen, King in the middle, one of the walk maps, so it wasn't an overly fantastic map, pretty silly really. And as you see, I've got 2-minute raid time. So I chose to go ahead with a earthquake in the guts. That was to open up the ground to be able to get into the town hall to back up the 2-star. And then also do a bit of damage to the Expo, Inferno, and hopefully the storages. Didn't actually intend on drawing that clan castle at the start. I was just hoping to open up that door, and I would have used the golems and king to walk around. There we go, probably a little bit early with the witches. As you see, I lost a witch to a pup there, so that was a bit silly. And almost lost the second one. So I only had the one golem on the right flank, and that was to just to keep that clear and hopefully push everything centre, which happened. Good early freeze, that got the single inferno before it completely killed that golem, and then also give me a little bit of time on the queen. Second rage now, you see that's to get me through the midfield. Enough witches, still summoning those skellies helped. And I did have a couple of hogs for the end there. Poison was used in the end just in case there was any straggling skelly traps. That was it. Not really a max base or anything like that. Still, it's nice to knock out the 3-star on that. Next replay was the attack versus number 10 with Barndo 81B, and that was just a go whiz. I think there was a pecker in the clan castle and 10 hogs with a heal for the end. Now this was an unopened base, I wasn't aware whether there was a Tesla, and there was actually a G-bomb just at the bottom there, so. Two rage, 2 jump, so 1 jump to get you inside the centre, and then 1 jump to get you outside the centre. King got pretty smashed up pretty quickly here. Didn't even kill the queen in the end, so probably a touch early on the old king. Second rage for the centre, and this is where I've come out with the hogs. Bit of a spread on those, it was only 10 hogs, so wasn't a huge amount. Good jump at the back there. You see, it's been a while since I've used the old computer to do a replay, but you see the jump there opens up all of the golems to be able to jump between those 3 cells and keep moving and try to stay in front of that queen, so it worked well. Queen's pew-pewing away in the middle there. Hogs were pretty unlucky to run over that giant bomb. And this is where now the Queen had no cover, so I just popped out that Queen ability, basically to hope the archers would soak a little bit, but to get through there. It worked out well and got the old Golemite train going. Hogs triggered that last giant bomb. Very lucky that it was a giant bomb inside there and not on the outside. That would have been quite painful and cost me the 3. The raid went for about 2.5 minutes, so wasn't overly special raid, but it again came with the 3, so that's nice. Next replay is going to be the replay on number 14. That was with Barndo 82, and it was a Queen walk with the GoHog. Now with this base, I was aware where the giant bombs were. It had been hit before, so I was aware there was giant bombs in the middle there and in the middle there. So I knew the giant bombs were there. The object was to run the Queen in here, and then from the right hand side use the golems in there. Pretty simple plan. Then you would just hog the outside map. The outside defence is left over. So you see a couple minions at the start for your herding. Herding is pretty important on your Queen walks. I did have a couple in the current war we're in where I didn't herd very well, and it's cost me the raids. So it's something you've always got to constantly assess. And I'll just point out down the bottom here, this camp and dark barracks. In the end I should have used that last minion to clear those, because that was a bit of a risk with that Queen wandering off to kill that camp, which would have then changed everything. Alright, so the Queen's aggroed the other Queen, and you see that rage. Very nice time on the rage. A second or two later, and then I'd have to be popping the ability at the same time. So out comes the clan castle, probably a touch low on that poison. If it was a bit further up, it then would have saved what needed to happen here. And you see the 2 balloons go over the top. Bang, pop the Queen's ability. If they had have dumped on her face, then it would have been all she wrote. Golems and King Wizzies, they've started. Now you see the King's taking a fair bit of damage. He's at half life. I know there's giant bombs behind next to that expo, but it's good to get that rage out of the way, knock off the enemy King, and try to keep moving through the raid. Hogs have started. Didn't go over excessive on the Hogs at the start. Dropped a couple there because I thought that Wizard Tower wasn't going to go down straight away. So the Golems here have managed to just top up a touch of health, and they keep tanking that expo, which is nice. Second heal comes down, good overlapping heal. You've got the Skellies picking away at the Hogs. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So pretty good raid. And I think that went for just under 3 minutes, so I think about 12 to 13 seconds spare. Next raid I'm going to show was Monkey's attack on 15. Monkey is one of Phoenix / Shine's extra accounts. So he's actually come out, you see, with an earthquake to open up there. He's come in with a 2 golem GoHog. Now that's to save the fiddling around and hassle of a jump and everything not taking the jump, plus then also getting that bit of damage early out. Good poison, slows the loons right down, and they won't get a drop at all, which is nice. Out comes his Hogs. Very good timing there, and with that earthquake that allowed that golem to run in and get those 2 giant bombs. Now he's turned into a bit of bacon there, but he's still had a nice healthy amount of hogs at the back. And the old skellies like flies on the horse's ass. Monkey's done. So he did about 2 minutes 20 seconds for that raid. So shitload of room, still had a few hogs left, quite a lot of clean-up troops left. Good raid, Monkey. Next one I want to show is Phoenix's attack on number 16. Now he did a 2 golem GoHog as well. And what he's chosen to do is to use 3 hogs down there. Intention being to trip one of the giant bombs. And that was it. So he hadn't gone for, it wasn't for a clan castle pull or anything like that. It was just simply put to break up that giant bomb, so during the heat of the battle he wouldn't be forced to have to worry about it and his hogs pathing onto it. So he's gone in with the 3 heals, just the 1 jump this time. Good herding on the sides, good delay on his king. And a good poison. So he'll rage Jimmy Bob now, and he's cleaned up a good chunk of the outside here. Bit of a grass hill, shows you how much room he did have. Now he's popped out a giant on the side here because they've got a shitload more hit points than the old hoggies. The one use of the giant there was a good strat. Now the old skillies get smashed. And you see he's still got his queen, full health. 8-ish hogs. And 2 minute 20 raid. So that was not even using that 3rd heal. Good raid, Phoenix. So what we'll go into now is 3 replays versus the Town Hall 8s. And I'm just going to point out a bit for my Town Hall 8s to be able to watch and go through. Because we saw a lot of really messy raids that just didn't need to be like that. So Kimmy's come in with a GoHog here. 3 heals. And it was Clan Castle hogs as well, I think. So one of Kimmy's strats is he uses the poison on the dragon, just walks the barbs and kills the clan castle. So it's nothing special, nothing hardcore. He's used the golem over here, which is interesting for those 2 cannons. I think possibly to trip a giant bomb down here. If it was myself, I would probably have, where are we? Use the golem there. And then that way that would allow you to push into that king. And as you see from the heals, massive heals. That 3rd heal probably wasn't even needed. Very, very simple raid from Kimmy. He did only have the 10 seconds left, but you see huge amount of hogs. And the 2 outside bombs. Lucky old Kingsy's going for it there still. Next one I want to show was Menace's attack on number 20. It was a pretty simple hog raid, this one. So he's come in with a clan castle draw, used a giant. He probably could have gone on that dark barracks, all that camp. So he's pulled it up to the side there. And I was showing before, but Menace likes to just do the walk and save his poison. So you see he's done a bit of king on king action, getting the old pawn going. And that gets rid of the king and eliminates something that's going to take out 6 to 8 hogs by himself. Pretty silly bomb placement there, really. Now it's hard to know in a raid like that where he hasn't used his poison on the dragon, is it really worth worrying about the skeletons for that poison? I do know a lot of people don't worry about it and they'll just take it as it comes. Some of the times you forget to use it and stuff about, so are you better off using it at the start? That's always a personal preference, but you see right there he didn't use his poison at all, so it just wasn't needed. Last off, I'm going to show an attack on number 24. That was with Barndo 83. I want to show this because we've still got people struggling with dragons, so I want to keep it current into how to do them, basically. Wasn't a max base like that or anything, but I mean the raid was under 2 minutes. You see there was a murder hole there. Silly. Use a loon, try and trigger any traps at the same time. Now I like to draw those dragons to the front of the raid so you're not getting smashed by them while the air defense are pounding on you. Now you notice the herding. So that building there was killed. Building here and here killed. That'll allow your dragons to push right through the middle and not stuff about. So you see as well, buildings here picked out. Those minions are going along and they keep going on the sides. Now these dragons are just starting to go on the edge on the side here. Ooh, didn't want to do that. Now Clan Castle Loons with the rage. And the king just staying just that touch in front of that other dragon just to keep him as centre as possible. And you see there's still a good healthy amount of dragons and those loons going through the middle. So 6 dragons still alive, minute 50 raid, 54, something like that. The dragon raids, I find the biggest thing is making sure you herd your dragons well. You've got to make sure you keep those flying pigs nice and centre, and that way they'll knock out the defences and go for it. So outside of that, it was a bit of an annoying war at the start of us. You see down at the bottom here, where are we? JDam. You see he opened JDam for the 2%. He didn't actually open any buildings. He didn't see what was in the clan castle or anything like that. And then old mate number 1 comes out in 3 stars in first attack. So yeah, iModdings are still a problem and we do see it. We try not to harp on it too much, but it does get fucking annoying if you lose a war to them. But in the end, yeah, we've come through with the win. So nice war. I probably won't do a replay for our current war, as I have been pretty busy, and we'll get into our next war again tonight. So be a couple of days before we get another one from Barndo. But other than that, I hope I've helped, and clash on.